Okay. All right.
Hello. Hello.
Clear my throat.
The two of us.
Okay.
Oh,
I think we're going to leave that in.
Yes,
and
we
that
will.
is the start.
Who are you?
I'm Peggy.
Okay, we all know I'm not Amanda. Oh, it's Amanda and Peggy, and it's Millcast number.
I don't know.
I think it's 49. I think it's 49.
Guys, we got back
Late,
and I said to my husband when I walked in last night, I was like, I got in the car at Rhinebeck, sun was up, I was like, we're going, Peggy. We just drove straight. There was no stopping for pee breaks. There was nothing. I swear to God, there's just the squirreliest ways to get back through Vermont. So by the time we got to my house, I got dropped off, and Peggy took our giant U-Haul, more on that, and dropped herself off at home.
Right, so, it was a drive home in the dark, and two very exhausted people.
We couldn't put our
white-knuckling it there.
Finding radio stations from pass to pass.
Hey, but you have a great voice.
Oh, jeez.
She's just singing along to some of them. I was awake.
I thought you were asleep.
No, I was awake for all of it, but I just didn't have the energy. Also, we were talking so much.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, we're talking. We're talking post Rhinebeck.
Rhinebeck. This is the last.
Yes, we swear to God,
Rhinebeck.
this is the last Millcast you'll hear of Rhinebeck. Oh my God, I don't know if we can get through this Millcast.
It's hilarious.
Running on fumes here.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we were at Rhinebeck this last weekend, which
AKA the New York Sheep and Wool Festival.
It's a big deal in the fiber world,
and it was a big deal that we got in.
It's incredible. We feel like we have, again, the sun is shining on our little mill sometimes. We opened 2.5 years ago, and we already just had our first Rhinebeck, and it was something that I don't think we thought would happen this year.
And I don't think we'll ever forget that first one. And we have more to say about it, but we thought first let us take you there.
Well, and just and before we go into the montage,
okay,
I want to say it's a little heavy loaded for the front end of Rhinebeck because, as you can tell, we were exhausted. We are exhausted by the end of it, so the camera came out less and less throughout the weekend.
Right. It's sort of like your second child, right?
Yeah, day 2. We can get
your
through
second
this.
child.
Day
no
1,
pictures.
woo! So anyways, you're going to see mostly a bit of the pre-Rhinebeck and then, day 1 stuff, and then we'll get back to you and talk more about the whole weekend after the montage.
Absolutely.
How's it going?
We have room for our luggage. That would be about it. We are chock-a-block full in our rented U-Haul cargo van.
We're on the road, heading to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. We're still in Vermont, but we are heading south. We should be there in about 3 hours and a quarter, something like that. And we are driving a massive U-Haul van that is just stuffed to the gills.
Yeah, it
with
really
our
is.
yard.
It was not easy shutting the door.
No, and when you got to my house to pick me up, stuff almost toppled everywhere. We're fine. It's all good.
Well, it's settled on the dirt road to your house. It was settling in,
Yeah, so we hope we come back with a lot less yarn.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to checking out how setup goes. So we will touch base later. Look at all of our stuff. Oh my gosh, there's even more back here. Let's see. Okay. Here we go.
Wow.
We are exhausted. I'm exhausted.
It's a long day. The drive took a while because of the total downpour.
Yeah, Peggy did all the driving because she is our intrepid large vehicle operator.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad. Although when it's really pouring and the washer wipers are going as fast as there is no faster, there is no 11.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it was pretty relaxing. I almost fell asleep a few times. Bad passenger that I am.
I wasn't. But we are all set up. The booth is lit up behind us, and wow.
We set up just the two of us, and I think we're very proud of it.
Yeah, it looks like $1 million.
So we can't wait to show everybody tomorrow.
Yeah, so we have a few things to throw into the cargo van, and then we're going to do a quick walk around to see what other booths look like.
Yeah, we have no idea how much time we'll get to actually like experience Rhinebeck while we're vending. Apparently 0 according to the other vendors.
It's kind of a challenge because a lot of people have their wares covered, but it's still good to walk around and see what's there.
Yeah.
So
all right,
I'll
we'll pan over and show you the rest of our setup booth here, and then
Absolutely.
of course throughout the weekend. Oh my God, it's happening tomorrow. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Here we are, just feeling totally chuffed at our breakfast find after finding a great place for dinner last night.
We were at Taste Buds
in Red Hook,
New York.
Yeah, we were on our way to some place that looked a little like meh, just to get a quick sandwich on our way to Saturday Rhinebeck.
Right, and drove by this and did a quick
as you can do with
cargo U-turn.
Yeah. I'll show you what I'm eating to start as my first course. And then we're having some breakfast sandwich.
What's the second breakfast? Yeah.
I love pumpkin pie for breakfast, and they had it. I couldn't resist it. So we are off to a really great start. Last night we had an amazing German dinner.
A German dinner at this restaurant,
so random.
But it was terrific.
It was delicious.
We sat at the bar because they were that popular. Where we walked in, we said, we don't have a reservation, and the woman kind of did a. Ooh.
It wasn't that busy. It was just sort of like
but I think she knew she had folks coming in.
Yeah. And it was great. And so we had a lovely dinner. Now we're here having our decaf coffees and my pumpkin pie, breakfast sandwiches, and then we're on our way to
and before we left, we had ourselves all set. We did a quick kind of walkthrough. I did not realize how dang big Rhinebeck is.
Yeah, it's huge, Peg. It's big. It just keeps going and going. Yeah. But I think we feel really good about our booth. We feel excited.
I love our booth.
Today, we'll see
and
what
the weather,
it's like.
it looks like the weather's going to be in our favor.
Yeah, it poured all night long. We slept well at our Airbnb up
great
in
Airbnb
Catskill.
in Catskill, New York.
Yeah, so fingers crossed that the Rhinebeck miracle pulls through and we actually get some nice weather today. Yeah. If not, just not pouring.
All right, we're going to turn off this so we can not only have a
I gotta get this.
pumpkin pie. We're going to have an egg sandwich and then be on our way.
Yes, okay. Okay, so we just pulled into the fairgrounds, and we are not the early birds.
And it doesn't open for another hour.
Yeah. It's 8:08, doors are at 9, and the traffic is already there. Oh boy. And Peg thought it was just vendors, and then I think I had heard our booth neighbor talking about people lining up from 7 a.m. So I think we've got a lot of fiber fanatics here. Peg's got her sweater on.
Yes, I do. More of that later.
Now we go.
So, this is the reason I came to Rhinebeck, to meet you guys. I love you guys. Oh my God.
Let me just make sure.
Where's home? Berks County, Pennsylvania. So you took a bus up here? We did.
Okay, tell us what you're wearing.
We're wearing the sheep pants
Sweater by Native Knitter.
Alright, so
Amanda.
It's so cold.
What do you mean it's cold?
It's freezing in here.
We have begun packing up, and Amanda's right. It's chilly. Okay, and so
Woo, okay.
we're still cold.
Oh my gosh. I swear it got colder and colder as the day progressed.
And then the breeze picked up.
Yeah. And the barn, it kind of had, there were like tarp walls or something like that.
But the openings, it was like funneling through the openings.
Yeah.
But I have to say, part of the other reason we're still cold is there's no heat on in the mill, which
we got to figure that out.
We got to figure out why the heat isn't on the mill. But anyway, we're both still wearing our Torkels.
I've been wearing it all weekend.
Yeah, it was
a Torkel weekend for us, aside
was.
from Rhinebeck. So I think this is going to be a piece I wear all the time.
I totally agree. It's we're both wearing the half one.
Yeah, we agree that we like the half one a little
you can
more
whip
for
it
the
on and,
day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I saw, we'll talk more about the Torkel meetup.
Yeah, but that's
later.
part of why we
got that, and I've also got my petite knit zipper sweater on, which
right.
is a really, really warm piece because it has my sheep's wool, the Corriedale,
right.
Knit with some mohair silk blend.
Nice.
So it's like really nice and warm.
Did you see the person who came in the mill that was knitting it, this same one?
Oh, I talked to someone
I think they were knitting it out of the Jacob twist.
That was
and
Agnes,
she had just done the collar. It was really nice.
I have a photo of her. I'll throw it up. She's not wearing that one, but she's wearing her Pebbles sweater that she knit out of all of our yarn, which looks fantastic. Agnes brought us some Jacob fleece to process. Right. I think she bought that yarn from us, but she's also hand processing some roving that we
and I am wearing a sweater from my sheep. It's several years old. I hand spun it. This is the natural color, and again, once again, just made up a pattern. No buttons.
It's a good time to have a closet full of hand knit woolly sweaters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got to talk. I think we were both absolutely blown away by the folks that came in. We met a lot of people. We met a lot of people who knew about us and a lot of people who didn't. We've got to say though, the day started with two guys.
Well, okay.
Okay, where do you want to start?
First, we have to shout out to Tom.
Okay, Tom.
You know.
You know who you are. You said you were first in line. Like, it's amazing.
You probably got there well before we did that day.
5 a.m, did you get there?
Anyways, Tom, one of our big fans, Tom, was there front in the line and beeline for the booth and swiped up about 4 or 5 skeins of our Cider Doughnuts.
Cider Doughnuts, our Rhinebeck special.
Yeah, and we saw Tom a bunch throughout the weekend. He was at the Knitalong for the Torkel. So first there was Tom. We gotta give Tom his credit for being first to the booth.
But then, maybe second to the booth, I see these two guys coming, and they've got this, like this by this white box, and I'm like, what? Did we order something?
Because at Vermont Sheep and Wool you could order sandwiches or something. I was like, did Peg?
Yeah, I couldn't figure out. And these guys come in, and they have that, and then this box. It's filled with the most amazing pastries, melt away. And they melt away in your mouth. And then they brought a thing of coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. So incredibly thoughtful.
So thoughtful. They made 2 stops for us. We said, don't bring us anything.
You don't need to. And by the way, that became breakfast and lunch.
Oh, that day, and we needed it. My stomach was not in the mood for like a sandwich. I just needed the sugar.
Oh God, it was good. Thank you guys.
That was
really
awesome. And
amazing.
They kept us going throughout the weekend. But then also, I want to shout out to Scratch too, because one of our local knitting stores just over the water there in Leb, Scratch. They brought us some little packets of hydration.
Right, it's like they kind of knew we were going to need the energy boost.
Stay hydrated, and they knew it was our first year. It was just really incredibly thoughtful of them to seek us out, say, "How are you doing? Make sure you're hydrating." And they were right. So, and then they later brought us some granola bars.
Right, and one of our other nice neighbors, Must Love Yarn over in Childenford, they came by and they waved. It was nice to see you guys.
Yeah,
but I could not get over the volume of people that we met. And, it just, I'm going to jump ahead. The people that came in.
I'm just going to go. We normally don't reference, we have a sheet, but I want to make sure we get through everything. So I'm going to make sure we talk.
Okay.
We did that. Okay.
You want to do the Torkel next?
No, say what you were going to say. I just want to make sure we're getting everything.
The kind of people that were traveling in posses, there was one group of women. They were from all over. I believe they had met on Instagram. They had rented a mansion not far away.
These were the girls that were my age?
No, this is another group.
Posse. Okay.
There were posses.
Yeah.
It was a thing.
Okay, so talk about the mansion.
It was just great. They came. I said, you didn't stay in a mansion. Oh, yes, we did. They started
and I
showing me
believe
pictures.
it. Riding around that area, it's like
there's some have and have nots.
Well, and it's just the big Victorians.
There were some stunning.
So
theirs was a brick, but whatever. I couldn't get over the number of people who were traveling in posses. Many mother-daughter who were like, we had put it on our calendar. This was the time we were going to do this together.
Yep. I thought that was so great. I
was
hope
great.
Someday that Maeve and I can do that. That would be so cute. Yeah, and there was a group of about 5 girls who all had the same sweater that they all knit for Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
Again, they met on Instagram. They're from all over the country.
That's
They
right.
were sharing a house. And they came by the booth, and they were all so cool and hip knitters. But they had these gorgeous sweaters that they all knit in different colors, different yarns. But they just looked like quite the group.
All right. And now the Cabin Boys came by.
Yeah, Cabin Boy Knits, who you may know from their podcast.
Yep.
Yes.
That was very fun.
Yeah,
to
they
see
interviewed
them.
us like back when we were in a wee mill.
We were just getting started. It was
It was
very
right
kind of
after
them to
Maeve
swing
was
by.
born that
Yeah.
they came by. I think this was the first time I was in the mill probably since giving birth, but I couldn't resist coming for a Cabin Boy Knits interview. So it was really nice to see them.
Yeah, it was great.
I actually saw them up on the hill, which we did find for the Torkel meetup, because they had their fabulous little meetup themselves.
Excellent.
And,
Good.
Posing for pictures. So
we were talking about posses. We met people Texas, California, Nebraska, Tennessee.
people travel far and wide for the New York Sheep and Wool Festival.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
There was one we had talked about. A lot of folks came in with things they had knit out of making tracks, which is really cool. We want to show you one. This is a white cardigan, but the colorway is
in the clearing.
in the clearing.
Yeah.
And man,
Just throughout this beautiful stranded.
and the way the whole yoke went, it was stunning.
Yeah.
It was stunning.
Yeah.
Oh, and I don't know, did we have the picture of the pressed flower cardigan?
Oh,
That
we can
looks so
find it. I don't think
colors.
I took one of this
Whoa.
woman there,
Yeah.
but I know it's on Instagram. Someone knit the pressed flowers by Savory Knits out of our settlement farm, ochre, and the leaf peeping as the flower color.
Yeah.
Which, if you look at those two, there's not a ton of contrast there, but that kind of made it like.
It just things said autumn.
Yeah.
We loved. Should we do Torkel or where do you want to go?
I'm a rule follower, so I'm
Okay.
going to start with the start and say,
Okay.
thank you to our incredible team.
Oh my God, yeah.
Who came to Rhinebeck for fun and then worked for a couple of hours at the booth. So Leah was there on Saturday, and she was at the festival with her parents, and they both were like around, and can we get you anything? And
it was great.
Her dad helped hold the sign while we were at the meetup, and her mom too. So that was awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Leah.
So thank you, Leah, for coming on Saturday. And, Peggy we sort of decided one of us had to stay at the booth during the Torkel meetup, but it was great. Like, we would never have been able to do that. Like, one person could not have manned the booth alone.
No, so Leah and I held the fort down.
Like expertly ducking underneath the table to like restock the shelves.
Right.
It was great. So thank you, Leah, so much for helping us out on Saturday. And then
Vicky was there on Sunday.
Yeah.
And she was striking up the conversations, making sure everybody was happy. And it was really fun. She had a friend come by who Vicky created Vermont Vice.
Yeah.
Really early on, and this friend had known it, and she was like, I want to show, and I think it was very fun for Vicky to show that. And Vicky was terrific. Thanks for schmoozing all the folks. Yeah. So, and then Liz, of course, helped us because she created the Cider Doughnuts.
Yeah, that's a great segue
colorway.
into the Cider Donuts.
Yeah,
so we
holy
showed
mackerel.
you, I think it was the last Millcast, gosh, it feels forever ago, that we sort of last minute decided to create this special for Rhinebeck edition of Making Tracks based on an idea that Liz had.
Yeah.
She brought the idea, special colorway, what about Cider Donuts? And we said, sure, let's create it. So she made it. It was her first time dyeing her own color.
We've got a picture of her next to the box of the crate that we had.
But we put them all out at the beginning, and we thought, this will be a little fixture throughout the weekend.
Gone.
In like an hour.
Right, and she had come by the booth, and we're like, quick, get a picture of you with before those last 3 or 4 go.
People were throwing elbows to get them.
It was pretty wild.
Yeah, it was a beautiful colorway, but furthermore, I think people just go bananas for special Rhinebeck things.
I guess so.
So
I
now
guess so.
we know. We're really grateful to Liz for bringing us that idea because it was excellent.
It was a lot of fun.
And they're gone. So I hope if you got one that you show us what you knit with it.
We don't even have one for like the treasure chest, the memories. I mean, gone.
I think Liz took the small skeins.
Oh, okay.
So I think she was going to do something with it. So we will at least see some of it knit up because every spin run we have a few small skeins. So she took those. But yeah, they're gone.
Otherwise,
out.
Not to be had.
So the Cider Doughnuts was a huge success.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I think went really well that we showed you is our special hot pink Vermont Vice tote bags.
Right, named after Vicky's colorway.
Yeah, this was for a while, this was our #1 bestseller. I don't know if it is, it's still very high up there, if not the highest. So we decided to make a tote. Where does the name come from if it's not, ringing bells? Well, there's a show called Miami Vice. I've heard tell it was before my time. But I know the cultural influence. So the colors look a lot like Miami Vice.
And we kind of knew the Barbie thing was hot, so why not have a pink bag? And we gave it to anybody who bought 3 or more skeins.
And we had them for sale as well.
Right, but we a lot left our booth. Yep. And the fun of it was people would come back around and say, I'm seeing your pink bags everywhere.
Yeah, so that's what we thought.
That was fun.
It worked.
And it worked out.
And we actually aren't going to put these online. We think they're fun for festivals. So the next place to get one will be down in Springfield. Coming up in just a few weekends. We'll tell you more about that at the end of the day.
We had a great booth.
Yes.
We, again, you don't know what you're going to get. It was wide. The thing that we didn't know that we'd get with this booth is storage behind it. Mm-hmm. If we hadn't had that storage behind it, I don't know how we would have survived, because it would have been really difficult to go back to our rented U-Haul truck and get restocks. And there was more than just restocks. There was just things we needed to get access to.
And stuff we just wanted to put out of the way. Our personal stuff.
Like a purse and a sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was great to have that storage.
And great neighbors. It was a great vibe booth. Booth 26.
Yeah. So we had awesome neighbors. They were telling, one of them let me borrow their broom because it is like an animal barn. We put a tarp. We did know to bring a tarp and a carpet. Yep. But other than that, you get still like wood chips and stuff all over the mat.
So we borrowed a broom.
And our neighbor Terry, right next to us, she lent us her
Day-Glo
orange tape to put over. There's a significant piece of wood that you have to step over.
There's a 2x4 to keep the chips.
Tripping hazard.
Yeah, to keep the chips in the stall. Well, the chips had kind of been worn out. And so there was this 2x4 you kind of had to be careful of. We put the tape down, but we were still kind of saying, careful. And we need a different solution next year.
Yeah.
Some kind of heavy carpet.
And no one had it in our stall. I guess some years it's not quite that bad.
Right, but we need to come prepared next year to...
Yeah, because we want to make sure our booth is accessible. And safe for people. Thankfully, no one took a huge spill, but people... people were tripping, and we didn't have any control over that, but it was not very nice. But
we'll take care of that. That was minor, though, because a great location, great neighbors, and the width of the booth. Sometimes you start out with a 10 by 10, and we had well north of that. So
hopefully we'll get the same booth going forward, and that'll be our little Rhinebeck home. I guess that's sort of how it goes.
I think that is how it goes.
Yeah. But speaking of neighbors, I did purchase a couple of things. I saw this. So first I went down the way. The goat soaps. Yeah. There was a person selling, it says hand-milked, homemade soaps and lotions from Cat's View Farm.
I love the Cat's View Farm.
She brought a ton of soap, and I saw her loading out. She had 30 bars left. She had just totally sold out. So I managed to stop by right before the day started on Sunday.
Gosh, that smells
and got
great.
Some soaps. So they may be presents, they may be for me. I can't decide. But I got some wild honey soap.
Nice.
And this one, I got 4 different. They had a little deal, you buy 4 for $20 or something. But this one was
smell like $1 million.
Holiday sparkle.
It smells holiday.
And then the other I'm really excited about is our neighbor right across the way was Crippen Works. And they make these needle cases.
They're really beautiful, and they look so practical.
Homemade. So I got one that is for both interchangeable, or what did I get? Oh, it's for interchangeable needles.
Right.
So this may also be a gift.
Yeah, so does this fold down?
So this,
I
this
see. Okay.
fabric folds up to keep your needles all tidy.
Yep.
And then there's a little flap, I think, just to store you know, cords and little extra bits, but you can also store your cables behind here.
Smart.
And then there's just a ton of storage. But she had all different sizes for, you know, double pointed.
Whatever your needs.
combos, whatever. But she had just beautiful fabric choices. I loved her stuff. So
Nice.
it was nice to meet them and come away with some stuff.
I couldn't focus on shopping.
Yeah.
I didn't do any shopping. I did do the strolling around, saying hello to folks that we know well. You know, we saw Tammy of Wing and a Prayer and lots of other folks. But I don't know why I was.
Well,
not
I mean, I didn't
shopping.
venture out of our booth.
There
These were
you
the
go.
people I had time to just in between chatting, look across and see, ooh, maybe I'll get one of those. So that was great. The other thing that happened that was important over the weekend was our meetup for the Torkel.
Yeah, huge.
So we did the Lindell Torkel Knitalong, as most of you who've been paying attention know.
Yeah.
And that was over the last couple of months, and it was so fun to see everyone with their Torkels.
Yeah.
And at 1 o'clock we met on the hill, which even on my way there, I was holding our Junction Fiber Mill sign, which that was a great thing to have. Good idea. I was leading the blind, the blind leading the blind, and we got her out. I was like, guys, where do you think it is? And eventually somebody sort of pointed us to the right spot.
Hilarious.
It's not that obvious where the hill is. Now I know. I'll have to show you because I don't think you know yet.
No.
But we saw a bunch of other meetups happening, and we found our people, the sign-directed people. We probably had a group of 20, 25 folks.
Great photograph.
Yeah, and so there's a little footage in the montage, as you saw, and I'll put some up here of our Torkel group. But that was just so fun to do. I'm really glad we did it.
And just to be clear, when we pulled the trigger on Let's Do This in August, we didn't really know what Knitalong's word was. Kind of, well, why don't we try this?
Yeah.
We like Ona's pattern. Let's give it a try. And way more people even did it who couldn't make it to the meetup. Very, very fun.
Oh, and I want to shout out Mara, who made this amazing skirt.
Oh my God.
The Lindell skirt, which I don't think is even a pattern. I think she made the pattern up sort of from Ona's types of patterns. I'll verify that, but the skirt was
stunning.
Yeah,
and made out of Vermont Vice.
Yes, I think she got tons of compliments on that, but it looked beautiful.
It was really, really gorgeous.
And again, I'll shout out Tom for doing not one, but like three Lindell scarves, which he's had proudly modeling in the photos as well. So it was such a fun thing to do, and thank you all for coming out to it. Yeah. We also got a lot of emails and messages from people who couldn't make Rhinebeck on a Saturday for one reason or another, and thank you for stopping by the booth.
And we're going to aggregate everybody who let us know they did it.
Yes.
Because
we got to pick a winner. There is a prize. So when I get my brain screwed back on, that'll happen, and it'll may be chosen by the time the episode actually airs, but I can't tell you about it now. So we'll tell you next week who won.
Yeah.
But thank you all for sending in those photos, and look forward to.
Was very fun.
I think we'll do another Knitalong soon. So well, stay tuned.
Well, it's kind of fun it's a great way to engage with you guys. So it's all good. We have the Raven's Roost.
One more thing on our friends, our other neighbors, Woolly Thistle. They're just over in Leb. They stopped by the booth. We just want to say thanks.
That's funny. I thought we mentioned that.
We mentioned Scratch. I don't think we mentioned Woolly Thistle.
Sorry, guys. You agreed. Sorry.
That's why we have a list here.
I know we got a photo. It did happen.
Yeah. So
we are excited. On the Woolly Thistle, we've got some surprises coming up in a collaboration we're doing with them. Stay tuned for that.
Okay. Yeah. I can't even remember what you're talking about.
Oh.
All right. All right.
It's happening.
So moving on from Rhinebeck. Are we done on Rhinebeck?
Yes.
Okay. So last week, I feel like that should be more climactic. Rhinebeck, shut.
The last thing you'll hear from us ever again will be Rhinebeck. We're done.
For this
It was
year.
great, but we're gonna,
Yeah, there are other things in the world than Rhinebeck.
Right.
Okay, no more Rhinebeck.
Speaking of which, what are some other things in the world?
All right, so last week we had Cassidy Seidler on, who is a terrific local designer, and she just put out the Raven's Roost Revisited shawl, which just launched over the weekend.
So someone came in the booth at the place that shall not be mentioned and bought yarn for it.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, we're going to do some kits through our website, but you can also feel free to just pick, I think it was 4 different colors of making tracks to do your own kit. And those aren't online yet because right before we left for the place that shall not be mentioned, we shut the online store down. We just zeroed out the inventory on everything.
So we can keep,
hopefully by the time this airs, the shop's back open and the kits are live. But if not, look out for those very soon.
Very soon. Soon. Any second.
And gosh, I just need to reference our list here. I think that is it.
Except for
current business.
Except for chances for us to meet you again.
Yes.
I'm headed down on the first weekend in November, February. Oh my God, November 4th. The Fiber Festival of New England in West Springfield, not to be confused with West Springfield, Massachusetts. I will be there.
Yes,
you're going to take a break.
AKA like the Big E.
Yeah, it's the Big E location.
It's not that, it's the exposition center.
Right, and then following right after that, come over to the open house on Friday, November 10th.
From 3 to 5.
Yeah.
We will be doing an open house.
Yeah.
Both of those, if we don't sell out of the Vermont Vice totes, we'll have them at the
open house as well. Yeah. So, and there's lots more coming right around the corner, which we'll get into.
Yeah, but for now, I think this episode has been long enough.
Yeah, and I don't know, I'm definitely taking a nap this afternoon.
Yeah, I think we both decided we're ditching the mill, and thankfully our one meeting today got canceled, so I think we can go do some. I just want to do a little housework. I got to finish Maeve's Halloween costume. You'll see that next week.
Yeah, and there's some house chores that have to be done, but yeah. It was good.
It was a fun weekend.
For everybody who came in the booth, thank you.
Thank
you
so
much. Thrilling.
We had a great first year, and it won't be forgotten. So, all right.
Alrighty.
We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.